All right, welcome everybody. This is NewsNow podcast. I want to say 6. Is that right, Tristan? 6. He's holding up 6 fingers, so unless you can't count, this is podcast 6. And I'd like to welcome my guest this week, Harley Valentine. And we're going to be covering several topics of Harley's interest. And they will be Grimsby's interests in many different ways, which you will find out as we go through them. So, Harley, why don't you just give the people a little bit of background on yourself and how you find yourself getting involved in several different aspects of downtown Grimsby right now?
Thanks, Mike. Background goes back to 1983. I was born and raised in Grimsby. I had the opportunity to have a very warm and colorful childhood here growing up in Grimsby. Back in the 80s through the 90s, there was still a bountiful amount of open orchard land. And I have fond memories of, crossing Vanderburg's farm to Park School on my daily commute there and home. And
that's a nice old-fashioned commute right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And cherries on the way home and peaches on the way too. And, traveled towards that beacon of light across Lake Ontario when I was 18 years old and have since returned. In 2018, I was fortunate to come back to town and saw an opportunity with the listing of what was at the time the Syndicate Restaurant and Different Strokes. It was for sale in the real estate market, and I had the opportunity to acquire that as part of my family's real estate development company. And ever since, we've been sort of laying deep roots here downtown Grimsby and reinvesting into those heritage sites.
So part of the evolution of, I guess, really both those sites, but certainly the 13 Mountain was the Syndicate, right? 13 Mountain?
That's right.
Is the rear area, which people would know as the parking lot of the restaurant over the years. But it is evolving into an outdoor performance area. And we did a story on that probably 2 months ago or so when you... right around the time I think you made a presentation to council about that.
That's right. We made a delegation.
Right. But maybe if you could just review some of the plans with that area.
Yeah, absolutely. 13 Mountain Street is blessed with a generous surface parking lot. And I always saw an opportunity to do something special. And just this past spring, we challenged Grimsby Music to look to their talent pool and within their music education program to build a platform where they could draw on their existing students and draw talents outside of their network to come and perform on an outdoor stage. We've since built that stage. It's approximately 500 square feet, and it sits in our northeast corner of our parking lot, which functions now as a bit of a makeshift amphitheater. And we look forward to, when we emerge from this lockdown period, to be able to invite the town of Grimsby as a whole to come visit us downtown Grimsby and participate in some of these incredible talents in our parking lot.
So with your connection to the arts community, maybe we went a step fast in your own background. You might want to explain a little bit why you have an interest in the arts.
Yeah, absolutely.
In general.
My current occupation is I do work in real estate development. We in our family office, which is Castle Point Numa, we pride ourselves on being a value-based approach developer. But a lot of the vision and I think execution that I bring to the company is drawn on my background, and that background was operating as a professional artist in the medium of sculpture for the 10 years leading up till 2018. And the arts run very deep here in Grimsby, as you know. There's a long-standing tradition with the arts and crafts movement, our connection to nature and how it inspires us to, think, to think creatively. And I had the opportunity to cultivate that through studying art history at the University of Toronto and then subsequently becoming a professional artist. So when I say I saw an opportunity with a surface parking lot, that's not typical of a developer to say, but what I saw was, I like to think, drawn on my background as an artist and to see raw materials with every building site. And what we've done to date is not only create an outdoor stage. We're looking at, we have just converted the former kitchen of what was the Gables restaurant, and then followed up by the Syndicate restaurant into actually a pop-up art gallery that will also be launching this summer in conjunction with our outdoor music festival. The idea is to create a new space downtown Grimsby where people can come, they can participate in outdoor music, they can see art, and they can really take away a unique, rich downtown experience while all in the backdrop of the historic downtown Main Street.
And it's right in a great spot being downtown. It's immediately adjacent to the South Side parking lot. And, there's lots of great restaurants within walking distance. And, it's a great spot.
Absolutely. We think we're in truly one of the greatest spots. We are bookended by the Niagara Escarpment to the south and the Heritage Downtown Grimsby to the north. And we have a lot to offer. So we look forward to seeing everyone this summer and showing them firsthand some of the creativity that we have and some of the energy that lies around and in these historic buildings.
And right now there's a lot of pent-up energy. So I think people are waiting.
Yes.
They're waiting. They're looking for a reason to get out. So I think the timing for you is great in that respect. And just I wanted to mention, too, you were mentioning about the history and the art gallery in town. And I know a lot of the people, whether it's the pump house artists, there's a lot of artist groups around the area. And the gallery ties in with heritage when you get into the Ways Goose aspect of the art gallery and the events that they run. So yes, there is a deep history with the arts community in town. So that'd be a great venue and an outlet for all that. And you'd mentioned too that you're open to different forms, not just live music, but I'd mentioned that there was a fellow in town who has connections to the comedy community and that he might be interested in doing something in an outdoor comedy series, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. We've built a stage on our site, and it's not a purpose-built stage by any means. When we invest into infrastructure, we like to make that investment as being as a broader, to be a broader launch pad for various mediums. So yes, we are launching Grimsby Music Live this summer when it's safe to do so, but that stage will exist 365 days a year in our parking lot. So if there's other groups, whether it be a comedy, whether it be stand-up performance or theater, we would love to hear from them, and we would love the opportunity for them to come and perform at our site. It's, as a youth growing up in Grimsby, there wasn't many outlets to sort of display talents and to showcase those talents. And this was a personal interest of mine. Back in the 90s, I helped fundraise and deliver the Grimsby Skateboard Park. And I see this stage as being not dissimilar to that approach. And we're investing into the youth of this community, and we're giving the youth of this community a stage and potentially a microphone to display their talents and to build confidence to be able to go out into the world and to expand their reach.
Great. So with the music series that we touched on earlier, and you mentioned about John at Grimsby Music would be running that program. Maybe if you could just expand, and this of course is all based on the COVID green light for appropriate crowds and that kind of thing. So it's not something that's going to start tomorrow, but maybe if you could just explain what the program or the process of that will be.
Absolutely. So John and Sarah at Grimsby Music, as I mentioned, they have deep roots here in musical education and a deep base of talented performers that have gone through their programs. John and Sarah have put forward a program that will happen when it's safe to do so, and it will have 3 tiers. The first tier will be, call it training talents that are ambitious enough to get in front of a stage, whether you're, with a violin or on a keyboard, and have a couple songs that you'd like to perform. And then we would go to tier 2, which would be emerging talents, where there would maybe be a garage band of some of the local high school students. And then there would be a third level where there would be the mature bands. So there would be those invitational bands of, let's say, a jazz quartet from Niagara on the Lake, and or talents that are coming out of Hamilton. So this idea that you're going to see a variety of performers. It's going to be all inclusive. It's going to be family friendly, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Is there an admission, a donation only? Like how does the
this
event aspect of it work?
This is something that we have programmed and built the infrastructure on out of our own community contribution. Layered on top of that, and to raise some awareness and energy towards the Take It to the Finish Line campaign for the West Lincoln Memorial Hospital, we have made a commitment to $7,500 through these artists. And the way I say through these artists is that those mature bands will play on a soft competitive platform with the winner or the winning talent to be able to contribute a check directly to the West Lincoln Memorial Hospital that we will fund on behalf of the Wolverton, which is our sites at 13 Mountain and 19 Elm Street.
Nice. So is there a term, like, again, the start would be fuzzy at best, but is it something that will run beyond summer? Is it purely like a summer type end September thing, or is it, into fall as long as the weather is nice, or any idea on that?
We had scheduled to kick this off May 24th. We're now going to push that probably to an early June date when if we do get the green light to do so. And we will run it as long as we can. And as long as people are willing to stand outside and it's safe to do so. We have, we're not stopping, and we want to see the youth and the people of Grimsby come downtown and participate in this and rekindle their discovery and their interest and love of downtown Grimsby.
So just to sort of change hats from my perspective for a second to DIA, and we had Marilyn McRae, who works for you, come to the last DI meeting or 2 meetings ago just to speak to it. And I know the downtown business community is appreciative of the entire effort, and certainly looking forward to seeing it happen. And I know the board is looking to support that event in any way that we can, and that works out for helping draw attention to it, create traffic, and all those good things that any downtown needs.
That's great. The DIA has been a great friend and a great source of inspiration, because we have, of course, aligned interests in seeing downtown Grimsby define itself as really the cultural center of Grimsby. And when I made that delegation to council some 60 days ago, it was about reimagining the spaces that we have downtown Grimsby. And it, as I said in that delegation, it doesn't take a lot to make a large impact. And since that date, we have established a number of parkettes and put out a number of Muskoka chairs around our site, which you may see as you drive down Elm or down Mountain, and then built the stage in the rear. So we haven't stopped, and we haven't shied away from that commitment of using every ounce of public space available. And we really look forward to opening that space up. It's just, we're missing the X factor now, which is the community, and we look forward to seeing them out.
And just sticking with the DIA theme for a second, the thing that we hear all the time is everything is so Main Street linear. Mm-hmm. As it's the absolute artery directly to the heart of the town and the local economy. But it's really nice to see something diversify attention and traffic still in the core, immediate walking distance, but not on Main Street, down a peripheral artery. And so that's a nice aspect for the downtown as well. Yeah,
we need to redefine what downtown Grimsby is, and it's much broader than just the main strip, as you know. Aspirationally, we're starting to take meetings with the Grimsby Art Gallery about reinstituting a Grimsby Arts and Crafts Festival in 2022, one that potentially would start at the Wolverton at 13 Mountain Street, and matriculate down through downtown Main Street, and then all the way down on Christie to the Grimsby Art Gallery. I think these types of discovery walks are very important to reintroduce people to something that they maybe thought they knew very well, but there's always new things to discover and things that are constantly changing.
You can always polish up a gem.
Yeah, you can absolutely.
Send it over to Kevin at Harmony House. He'll shine it up. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, let's get out. A lot of healing post-COVID is going to happen in these public spaces.
Yep. And people will be looking for opportunity, and whether that's music or comedy or shopping or dinner, Being able to have different offerings within the core is also a great, it's diversification, right?
100%, Mike. And I think there's some really exciting evening outs coming up downtown Grimsby. One that could potentially start outdoors with some live music and potentially end on the patio at Luca's there.
That's it. With the nice main street that we just got the berries and flowers put in this week. So we're ready. We just need the COVID curtain to lift and off we go.
Absolutely. I look forward to cocktails on Main Street very soon, Mike.
That's it. Is there anything that we, that we have not touched on that you'd like to mention, or?
I think, there's so much happening, and I look forward to maybe providing an update in the near future about what's next at the Wolverton. And
I think once things get set with the schedule and we know what the charted course is going to be at work, that would be great.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thanks for popping in today. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mike.